Hi guys, welcome back. Got a video that's a little bit different for you today as we are going to dive into the tactic that got us promoted from tier 10 up to tier 9 in our Press Switch to Prem series. So join us on the other side and we will dive straight in. Before we get stuck in, just a reminder to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing and you'd like to see some more content. So guys, as you can see, this was the final league table at the end of the season where we'd predominantly played the tactic that I'm going to show you today. We almost went unbeaten throughout the season. We just picked up the one defeat, but with 25 wins, 12 draws, 1 loss, a goal difference of plus 56 and 87 points from the 38 games, we had a very successful season and I can't really have asked much more from a tactic, to be honest with you. Just show you a little bit more on the results that we've managed during that time. As you can see, we did score a decent number of goals, certainly starting off in good numbers. We're constantly getting 2s and 3s, some 4s, some 5s. We actually scored 8 twice this season, an 8-2 and an 8-5. The number of games that we didn't score in, 1, 2, 3. So 3, and we drew all those games 0-0. The one defeat was there, 1-2 away to AFC Blackpool, who were a decent team in the league. I think they finished in the top 4 at least. Got 5 a number of times. Clean sheets, we managed a fair few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 clean sheets. So I'm not saying it's an absolute world-beating tactic, but it's certainly good enough and I think worthy of discussion. So let's head straight into the tactics and actually show you what we do. So as you can see, it is a 4-4-2 tactic. I've got to admit, I do love a good 4-4-2, especially down in the lower leagues. I just think having the 2 players up front means you are always posing a goal threat and you can always lump the ball up to them, which is handy, especially when you're coming up against teams that are better than you. One of the things to note really from this tactic is, as you can see from my fullbacks, that I play no-nonsense fullbacks on defend. I very much play with a flat back 4 and I don't ask the fullbacks to get forwards too much. What this means is that I can then put my wingers onto attack because I know that I've got the security behind them, that at all times I will have the back 4 secure. So if the wingers are bomb forwards and they lose the ball, then we've always got a decent number of players back to defend with, which is obviously good. A lot of goals are scored on the counter-attack, of course. So I'll just show you then quickly how we make this tactic work. Firstly, when we've got the ball. So just bear in mind the positions there as we dive into the in possession section of the tactic. So as you can see, we play the ball through the middle. Now the reason that I do this is because one of my better players is Edwin Towers, and he has bagged for me something like 15 or 17 assists this season through me doing that. Now, although I play Colclough as my deep line playmaker, which isn't his ideal position, he's better as a ball-winning midfielder, Edwin Towers is the one that gets further forwards, being in the central midfield role. And he is the one that time and time again picks the ball up, usually passed to him by a fullback or by Colclough, his midfield partner, and then he's the one that's dinking the ball over the top into the striker or through balls or laying it into the striker's feet, that kind of thing. Sometimes spreading it out to the wings, although we obviously don't ask him the team to do that in general. Then the other facet is that I like to work the ball into the box. So what this results in is probably me having a bit more possession, not like a completely dominant possession like in a tiki-taka formation, but we tend to have the lion's share of possession in the games with this tactic. So the passing directness we keep as standard. The tempo is slightly higher, but it's on the middle setting, and the width again is on the middle setting. We do play with width because we have 2 out-and-out wingers. Although Dan Franks plays as an inverted winger because he's a right-footed left winger, and he plays better there. If he's not playing and Kadeem Howard's playing, who is a left footer, then I just switch it to winger. So that's it for me. That's interchangeable, whether it's an inverted winger or a conventional winger. The other reason for playing through the middle is that our best player, Jack Friend, we play as the target man and on support, I think, which means that he drops back a little bit. I'll just check that. No, I'm not lying to you there. No, yes, we play him on support. So he tends to operate slightly deeper in the support role and linking up with the likes of Franks, who tucks in, being an inverted winger, and Towers as we build an attack. So then the other side of the tactic is, what do we do out of possession? Again, I've gone with standard line of engagement, standard line of defence. I'm not looking for the gegenpress. I'm just looking for solid, like to win the ball back when we can. So we do like to press urgently and get stuck in. You know, we're not going to let teams bully us off the ball. Equally, we are going to try and bully them off the ball, but I'm not going to go like a full court press and try and hunt the ball down and leave ourselves exposed if they just, especially at low league, they pump the ball over the top and you've pressed forwards. Obviously, a striker can get in. At this league, obviously, the defenders aren't, at this level, sorry, the defenders aren't brilliant. So I try and defend, my philosophy there is defend with numbers and keep them in a defensive standard line. Then that links back into an in transition. So what happens when we lose the ball or when we win the ball? So because of the what I've just said really, and about having 4 players there that at the back as a flat back 4, when we lose the ball up front, I do like to regroup, to be honest with you. Arguably, we could change that to a counter press, because you could say, well, if the 4 players lose the ball, I'm happy for them to go and hunt it down because we've always got the 4 at the back. But this has worked for me, going with regroup. Then I think when you win the ball back, you've got to look to do something with it. At this level, players' passing stats aren't brilliant. Their attributes for passing and vision and composure and technique and all that are pretty low in the single figures. So I'm not going to ask them to get back into shape, keep the ball. I'm going to want them to get the ball and do something with it. So we look to counter when we win the ball. From the goalkeeper's distribution, I look to send it to the target man, which in this case is Jack Friend, or it could be Mudu Cham. We've got a few that can play there. That is just a way of getting the ball back to front. I'm not a big fan of rolling the ball out to the defenders, as I've just explained. Players at this level aren't brilliant at passing the ball, and in particular the defenders, they're terrible. So in general, the keeper looks to send it up into the target man, get a flick onto his partner, the attacking advance forward, or out to the inverted winger, or nod it back to our central midfielder. Generally, that works for me. Don't tend to do any of these other settings. Like to keep it fairly standard. The idea behind it is that I can tweak things in a game. So if I, at half time, we're losing, we're struggling to break a team down, I can always have a look at the analysis of what's been going on in the first half, have a look at their formation, see, they're playing very narrow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to up my width and focus play down the wings. And then I can hopefully get around them and make the most of that. Obviously, we don't overlap because I'm asking my fullbacks to stay back. And we can then obviously go to shoot on sight. We're really not creating anything we want to, working the ball into the box isn't happening. It's just breaking down time and time again. Let's hit some early crosses or let's just shoot on sight. All options that I can do at half time if I feel the game's not going my way. So all in all, that is pretty much our tactic. I'm not going to go into any of the set pieces as that would be a separate thing. But yeah, the only other option there is obviously the mentality. I like to play positive. That is pretty standard across the board. Rare. Sometimes when I'm playing the bottom ranked team, I'll go attacking. But again, my philosophy is if I start at positive, I can always go up to attacking if I need to at half time or on 60 minutes if we're not getting, if we're not winning or we're losing. So it is a fairly middle of the road standard tactic that more often than not works. And if it doesn't, there's scope in it to make the changes needed to then go and counter and beat the particular opposition on the day. So I hope you've enjoyed that, guys. I will leave a link to so you can download the tactic if you wish to in the description below. And if you've got any questions, please fire away. But otherwise, I hope you have a go with it. See if it works for you. I would sort of preface any tactic with the thing that the notion that really it's about the players that you've got. You can't play a target man if you've got somebody who isn't strong or isn't tall. Generally, you need somebody suited for the role, and that's what I've tried to do with the tactic. Is I've tried to get a tactic that I feel works, but also tailor it to the players that I've got, and also bring in players to suit the tactic rather than trying to stick square pegs in round holes. Anyway, guys, thanks for your time today. Hope you have a bit of joy with that tactic. Let me know how you get on, and I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.